Have you ever made a shopping list before going to the market? Or seen a register with a list of all the names of the students in your class? Maybe you've seen an inventory of all the items for sale in a shop. Lists, registers, inventories, tables, records. These are all examples of collected data. Sarah and Asif are also collecting data about the math result of the people in their class. Let's take a look at their lists. Notice that Sarah's data is organized in a table, while Asif's data is still ungrouped. Isn't Sarah's data more organized? Looking at her table, we can instantly tell that 2 students scored between 11 and 15 marks, while 3 scored between 16 and 20 marks, and so on. Let's take a closer look at Sarah's data. Her table consists of classes right here, which are also called groups. In this table, the classes represent the different marks that students scored. The size of a class is called a class interval. Look at the first class. It holds 5 values: 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. The lowest and highest values of a class are also called class limits. The lower class limit of this class is 11, while the upper class limit is 15. To find the class interval, we can subtract the upper class limits or the lower class limits of 2 consecutive classes. Look at the lower limits of the first 2 classes. They are 16 and 11. Subtract them and you get the class interval 5. You could also subtract the upper class limits 20 and 15. Notice that the class interval is the same for all classes. Next, we see a column with tally marks. This column helps us count values while making the table. Finally, here we have a column showing frequency, or the number of occurrences in each class. This is why this table is also called a frequency distribution table. A frequency distribution table is a table with a list of items and tally marks recording how often items in a data set occur. In simple words, it is a table showing how many times something happens or occurs. The total frequency is also shown. This is useful information because it shows us that Sarah collected the marks of 30 students in total. Can we help Asif convert his data to a table as well? Let's see how. To begin with, Asif needs to decide how many classes his table should have. He decides that he wants 5 classes. Next, he needs to figure out the size of each class, or the class interval. For this purpose, he will subtract the smallest value of the data set from the largest value and divide this by the number of required classes. Hence, 95 minus 20 gives us 75, which when divided by 5 gives us 15. Hence, Asif must keep the size of each class equal to 15. Next, he makes his classes. Since 20 is the smallest value and 15 is the class interval, his first class will consist of marks from 20 to 34. This class will consist of the following 15 values. You can count to check. The lower limit of this class is 20, while the upper limit is 34. Similarly, the next classes will be 35 to 49, 50 to 64, 65 to 79, and 80 to 94. Next, we will use tally marks to count and enter our values. How many values lie in the first class? Look at our data. Only 25, 20, and 28 fall in this class. Cancel these values one by one and add tally marks for this class. Moving on, the next class contains 7 values. Cancel these values and add tally marks as well. Do the same for the rest of the classes. Finally, count your tally marks and write the frequency in the frequency column. Our tally marks show that 3 values occur between the range of 20 to 34, hence the frequency of this class is 3. Similarly, the frequencies of the following classes are 7, 9, 6, and 5, as shown by our tally marks. Add these frequencies up and we get 30. This is equal to the total number of marks Asif had in his list. We have converted Asif's ungrouped data into a frequency distribution table. Good job!